Welcome everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in. So we are going to be doing an exercise class today that is MS specific. And what I really mean by that is it's going to be very functional. And one thing that is so important to understand when you have MS is that not all exercise is created equal, unfortunately. And so I'm not sure if anyone on this class has experienced this, but you'll know that not all exercise is created equal if, when you have exercised in the past, you felt good, you felt like maybe you did get stronger, it made you feel good, you got endorphins going, but your function, your day-to-day movements weren't any easier. For example, walking was still just as challenging, or stair climbing, getting up off of the floor or getting out of your car. When you have MS and when you have goals like those functions, walking, stair climbing, getting up from low surfaces, etc., it's really important that we focus on functional exercise, which is what we're going to be doing today and throughout all of our classes that we do together. So without further ado, I will back up here in my chair and we'll get started. Today's class is a mix of my favorite exercises, and I almost want to call this class the basics, and we're starting at the foundation. We're going to be doing all of the exercises today seated, but there's also ways that you can do them standing. So in case anyone wants to do them standing, I will demonstrate that. But keep in mind, it's really up to you. Standing is not any better than seated and vice versa. So it's all about listening to your body and focusing on quality. Quality is going to be more important than the position that you're in or how many repetitions that you do. So I will go ahead and back up here. So here we go. So I want everyone to just shake out at first. It's really important to make sure that our bodies can relax between our exercises. We do not want our bodies to be tense and tight for a full 30 minutes or 45 or however long your exercise routine is. We need it to go back and forth between tight and working and relaxed. So let everything relax right now, shake everything out. I have a 3-year-old nephew, and before bed he gets his wiggles out, and it reminds me of what I like to do before my exercise, where we just wiggle, let our bodies loose. Our bodies will work better when we incorporate this type of movement. Okay, now scoot towards the middle or edge of your chair. You should feel very sturdy, but we're going to start with cardio, because doing cardio exercise before our functional exercise actually primes our brain for neuroplasticity, meaning we're even more likely to strengthen those neural pathways or find brand new neural pathways, which is the whole point of exercising when you have MS. So we're going to do some upper body cardio today. Make sure you're engaging your core. Bring your belly muscles in. Don't just let them flap out, but bring them in. Hands are going to be closed. Don't squeeze them, just close them lightly. And go ahead and start doing some arm swings. You're just going to swing back and forth. And the goal here is to increase your heart rate. There's a few ways that you can increase your heart rate with any movement. One is to go faster than what feels normal or in your comfort zone. So moving a little bit quicker. Another way is to get more motion. So instead of just doing it down here, really move your arms all the way up and all the way back. And then the third way you can make it a cardio or aerobic exercise is by adding power. So really punch up with power. Pretend you've got boxing gloves on and you're really trying to punch the ceiling with every repetition. So you can choose any of those 3 options, whichever feels best to you. We're all going to end with 5 faster seconds. So when you're ready, I'll count us down in 3, 2, 1. Go fast for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slow it down. Stop and shake everything out, including your fingers, your elbows, your shoulders. Shake it all out. Our next exercise we're going to do is forward punches. So tuck that belly back in, close those hands, and punch forward. I like to punch at shoulder height if possible, just because this works my shoulders a little bit more. But if this is too challenging, or if you have pain or aches, you can punch down towards your knees. And the way to make this a cardio exercise is the same as what I mentioned for our first exercise. So you can go a little bit faster, you can add more motion, or power. Get those boxing gloves on and really punch, push with some oomph behind each movement. And punch, punch, punch. So it doesn't matter what you like to do. I'm going to go with the motion. This one feels good for me. But it's all about what feels good for you. Keep going. Just moving at this speed will increase your heart rate. We're all going to do our 5 fastest seconds in 3, 2, 1. Go fast for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slow it down. Then stop and shake everything out. Our final aerobic exercise for today, moving right into it, is going to be our upper body jumping jack. So our legs are staying down, but our arms do what they would do if we were in a jumping jack, which is all the way up and all the way down. If that's too challenging for you, or you have aches and pains, you can come up to a T height. You can come here. It doesn't matter how high you go. It just matters that you keep moving. So it can look like this. It can look however you want it to look. So when you're ready, go ahead and join me up and down. Keep the belly muscles in. It's easy to just let our belly hang out. Tighten those belly muscles. Up and down. Keep breathing. Up, up. And again, you can increase the aerobic effort by going faster or more motion. Really try to go all the way up and all the way down, or power. Quickly go up. With this one, I feel like the quicker you go, the more power you get. But it's not quick all around for up and down. It's just one. All right, we're all going to do our 5 fastest seconds in 3, 2, 1, go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slow it down. That one, that really burns my shoulders. So hopefully you guys are feeling that. Hopefully your heart rate has increased a bit. We're done with cardio. Moving on to our functional strength training exercises. So the first one that we're going to do is a core exercise. And the reason for this is because our core should be engaged in everything that we do. But oftentimes we forget to brace our core. We forget to even use it as we're moving around. So I'm going to turn my chair to the side so you can see the exercise a bit better. You're going to sit all the way in the back of your chair. And your arms can be just resting wherever is comfortable for you. I'm going to move my arms like this only so you can see my belly and my back, but you can keep your arms relaxed and down. So if I really arch my back, you might see this space right here between my low back and the chair. So what we're going to do is we're going to use our belly muscles to flatten the low part of our back into the chair. You're not pushing with your feet, you're not using your legs at all, you're just using your abdominal muscles to pull your belly muscles in, and then relax. And flatten the arch of your back, and relax. So we're going to do 10 of those. So when you're ready, go ahead and flatten, hold, release. We'll do 10, flatten, hold, release. You should feel this in your belly muscles, but ideally your lower belly muscles more so than your upper. This is not working our 6-pack abs. And as you can see, it's a light movement. This is not anything. Someone might be looking at you right now and have no idea that you're doing an exercise. That's the point. This should be a very light movement. And relax. We're halfway, 5 more. Push, relax. Push, flatten that back, relax, flatten, relax, flatten. Hopefully you're feeling something down here, even if it's a little. Relax, 1 more, flatten and hold. We're going to hold a little bit longer for this last round. Hold, hold, hold. And relax. If you've never done that exercise before, I just want to share with you that it's completely normal to not feel the exercise as I was describing it, and that's okay. Okay, now we're going to scoot forward towards the edge of our chair. And when we're doing this, again, you're towards the edge, but you're feeling stable. You can be in the middle of your chair if that feels better. And you're going to march your legs, one up, then the other one up. The reason, you can go ahead and start with me now, the reason this exercise is important is because when we're walking, when we're climbing stairs, when we have to step up on a curb, we have to be able to lift our leg in order to do that. So the standing version looks like that, but we'll do seated for this round. Up, down. And you're just lifting as high as you can. Keep your belly muscles engaged, ideally, if you're able to. Up and down. The reason that I love seated exercises is because we don't have to worry about balance, and therefore we can strengthen the specific muscles. Right now, we are primarily focusing on strengthening our hip flexors. Whereas if we're standing, we're still strengthening our hip flexors, but we're also focusing on balance. And when we focus on more than one thing at a time, one thing is never focused on primarily. So we want to focus. Up, up. It's okay if you have one leg that's not lifting as high as the other. It's okay if you have one leg or maybe both that's not lifting at all. There's a lot of variations here. 2 more each side. Up, up. 1 more each side. Up, up. And relax. That should have been pretty challenging. Now we're going to scoot back in our chair. So you're all the way back. Again, brace those belly muscles. And we're going to focus on bending our knee. So bend your knee back as far as you can go. The chair is likely going to stop you. If you're in a chair like this, it's the same exercise. You're just going to push into the chair. So it's okay if you have an opening like that chair or no opening like this one, but just bend and push, push, push. And you should feel this exercise in the back of your knee, maybe the back of your thigh. The reason this one is important is because even though we're sitting and bending, it's the same muscles we need to stand and bend, which we need in order to walk. So this is also going to help with daily movements. All right, when you're ready, go ahead and bend one knee just as far as you can go and relax. Other side, bend, relax, bend, relax, bend, relax. These muscles tend to cramp up the most, and this specific exercise tends to be the most challenging for my clients with MS. So if this is hard for you, go easy on yourself. Just do the best that you can. Take breaks if you need to. Relax. Pull back. Relax. Pull. Relax. Pull. Relax. Pull. Relax. We're going to do 3 more each side. It takes a lot of concentration, which is why you see me looking down and focusing. Relax. Pull. Relax. Pull. Relax. Pull. Relax. 1 more each side. Pull. Relax. And last one. Pull. Relax. Let everything hang loose. Again, you should have been feeling that behind your knees. Sometimes I include that exercise with kicking your leg out straight and then bending, then kicking out straight. But other times, like today, I just specifically like to focus on bending the knee. Okay, moving on to our next exercise. Shift your body weight forward again towards the middle or edge of your chair. Sitting up tall, belly muscles are in, and you're gonna straighten your knees a little bit. Your feet should still be flat on the ground, but this straightening your knees will make the exercise easier. And just a reminder, the easier the exercise is, the more repetitions you can do with good quality. The more repetitions with good quality, the more opportunities for neuroplasticity. So this is going to be our ankle lift. So heels stay down, lift both of your toes up, and then slowly lower down. Now, this can be really challenging if you have foot drop. If it's easier for you to do one side and then the other side, you can do that. Listen to your body and what feels good to you. We're gonna do 10. So when you're ready, fix your posture if you started to slouch like I did, and go ahead and lift your toes up as far as you can go. It's okay if one is not as high as the other, and lower slowly. The slowly lowering is equally as important as the slowly lifting. Up and down. Up and down. You might feel a little bit of shakiness on the way down, or maybe even on the way up too. And down. This is number 5, up and down. If you're doing one foot at a time, go ahead and switch to the other foot. Up and down. And I want you looking down at your feet, because I want you making sure that your feet aren't rolling outward or inward. They're staying flat. Down. Up. Down. Up. Down. And one final one. Up. And down. And relax. You did it. So that one, you should have mostly been feeling the exercise in the front of your ankle. Depending on how weak or tight or strong your muscles are, you may have even felt it down into your toes and maybe even all the way up to your knee. But somewhere on the front of your lower leg is where you should be feeling that exercise. Shake everything out. We've got one more exercise, and then we're going to repeat that loop of exercises. So our final exercise is the sit to stand. And I'll demonstrate first, and then you can choose between 2 different options. We're all going to be towards the edge of our chair with our feet out wide and our knees out wide. So if I face you, just to show you, this would be too narrow. You really want your feet and knees to be wide. The wider they are, the better your balance will be. So feet are wide. Then from here, bend your knees a little bit. If your knees are like this, it's going to make the exercise so challenging. So bend your knees a bit. Now from here, there's 2 options. We're all going to hinge forward. We're tightening our belly muscles. Option 1 is to push your feet down into the ground, and you'll feel your hamstrings and back and butt muscles engage, and then you relax. You hinge forward and push your feet down and relax. You should really feel those muscles. Option number 2 is when you push your feet down, you stand all the way up. So push your feet down and stand up. And then then when you relax, you sit back down. So that one's a little bit more effort. You can choose whichever you want to do. The final thing I'll say before we get going is if you choose this standing up option, when you sit down, remember to hinge your hips back first. Don't just bend your knees to sit. You might miss your chair, you might plop down. You really want to make sure you hinge and then bend your knees, and you'll have much more control. Awesome. Okay, let's do it. So feet and knees are wide. Bend those knees. You're towards the middle or edge of your chair. Hinge forward and press down and relax. So again, you can stand all the way up or stay sitting. Press. Relax. Press. And remember, we should all be hinging. When I say press, relax. When I say press, it's a combination of hinge forward and push down. Press, hinge and push. Relax. Press. Relax. We're halfway. 5 more. Press. Relax. Press. Relax. press, relax. If you're getting tired or you're plopping down, then for the last two, you can just press down without standing up if you want. And relax. One more, press, and relax. And then when you're sitting, actually relax. Remember I said in the beginning, we want to shake our bodies out. Let everything hang loose. Belly should be poking out. Shoulders are relaxed. Legs can shake if you want them to. We're going to do round two, but shake everything out first. If you're watching this recording and you only had 20 minutes or so, stop it here. One round is totally fine. But if you want to do the second round, you're welcome to join us. But keep in mind that when you have MS, according to research, 20 minutes is all you need in one bout of time. Additionally, doing exercises throughout the day is just as effective as doing them all at once. So if you really loved one of these exercises, you could do it later today, or you could do a different one tomorrow or throughout the day. So listen to your body and how it's responding to these. Okay, so we're not going to do the cardio. We already started with our cardio to prime our brain for neuroplasticity. So we're going to move right into our bracing exercise. So we're sitting towards the back of our chair, sitting up tall. And remember, this is the one, so I'm really exaggerating right now, but we have this big arch in our back. We're going to use our hip muscles and pelvic and core muscles to flatten that. So if you tried to get a hand between your low back and the chair, you wouldn't be able to. And then relax. And when you relax, you might not be able to go all the way through, but you should be able to go through a little bit further. Okay, 10 of these. So when you're ready, push your low back into the chair by using your belly muscles, not using your feet, and relax. Push. Relax. Push. And think about using your low belly muscles, so your abdominal muscles that are below your belly button. Relax. Push. Relax. Push. This is such a great exercise. Relax. And we'll do it several times in several classes, sometimes coordinating it with breathing, other times on its own like this. Push. The end goal with bracing is that you'll be able to brace before you do any movement, before you walk. Relax. Before you open a door, before you sit down or stand up. That's the advanced version. Right now we're just trying to wake up those muscles. Brace. Relax. Two more. Brace. Relax. And last one, brace. Hold a little bit longer here, trying your best to feel it down low. Hold, hold, hold. Keep breathing. And relax. You can let your belly hang loose, let everything hang loose. Next is our marching, so go ahead and scoot forward. Now, if you want to do the standing version, I'll demonstrate that this time. The seated version looked like this. If that's too challenging, you can always recline backwards and recline like this. This makes it a little bit easier. And again, easier does not mean you're cheating. Easier is better because you can do more with better quality. Standing, you'd hold on to a chair or something in front of you, but standing would look like this. And your core is engaged. You're lifting your leg as high as you can. Your marching standing might look like this, and that's also fine. So it's really up to you. The one thing I do want to say, if you choose standing, you really need to make sure you shift your body weight. If I go to lift this leg up, but I still have weight through it, I'm going to fall towards that side. So shift your weight off of that leg so that you can lift it off the ground. Lower it, then shift your weight onto that leg so you can lift the other leg. So this weight shifting component is huge. Even though it's not technically a balance exercise, it's our marching exercise. So do make sure you have your chair nearby so that you can hold on. Okay, when you're ready, we'll do 10 each side. Sitting up tall or sitting reclined or standing, go ahead and march. Up and down. Switch sides. Up, down. Every now and then I get the question of, should I do all one leg first and then the other side, or should I alternate side to side? I have a preference of alternating, because alternating is most similar to what we do when we are walking in real life. We have to move one leg forward and then the other leg forward, then one leg forward, then the other leg forward. So I think it resembles more similarly what we do day to day. And down, up, down. 4 more each side, up, down, up, down. If you're getting tired, you can switch options. If you started standing, you can sit. If you started sitting, you can recline. Listen to your body. Keep those belly muscles engaged. Down. 1 more each side. Up, down, up, down, and relax. Let yourself hang out and scoot all the way back towards the back of your chair. Shake everything out. Again, let your belly hang loose. We've been doing a lot of work. Make sure that you feel relaxed and comfortable between each exercise. So you're going to be relaxed. Once you're here, you're going to bend your knee and then relax, and then the same thing on the other side. If you want to do the standing option, this is what that looks like. So you have a chair in front of you. Same as the marching, you're going to shift your weight first, because if you try to bend one knee and you still have weight through that leg, you're going to fall towards that side. So instead, shift your weight, then you're going to bend your knee and then relax, lower it, other side. So that's what it looks like from the front. From the side, it looks like this. Bend. And you're just bending as much as you can. When you're standing, it might look like this, and that's okay. So that's what the standing option would be if you wanted to do the standing option. Okay. Otherwise, we're seated. Regardless of the position you're choosing, tighten your belly muscles and pull your leg back and relax. And pull, relax, pull. And as I said the first time we did this, these muscles can cramp a little bit easier, so maybe you take more breaks, maybe you don't do all 10, maybe you don't bend as much. Listen to your body and do what you need to do this exercise comfortably. But you should be feeling some muscle tension on the back of your knees. And relax. And bend. Relax. Bend. Relax. Bend. Relax. Bend. Relax. If you have spasticity, this exercise might be even more challenging because it will be harder for you to do the relaxation part. Bend. Relax. 2 more on each side. Bend. Relax. Bend. Relax. 1 more each side. Bend. Bend. And relax. Shake out those muscles. All right, moving on to our ankles. So again, we're going to move all the way towards the edge. I never do this one standing. I know this round I've been demonstrating seated versus standing, but this one I think is just very functional when sitting, and standing it really throws you off balance, because standing would look something like this, up, up, but never in life do we have to lift our toes like this when our leg is straight under our body. We could always try something like this if we wanted to, if you really wanted to do this exercise standing. So there's ways to do it. I just have a preference of doing it seated. So you're sitting towards the edge of your chair. Your feet are away from you, so wiggle your toes so that your knees are extended. Feet stay flat on the ground. And you're sitting up tall, belly's engaged, and you're going to lift both feet at the same time, and then lower down, or 1 foot at a time, and then you'll just switch halfway to do the other side. So whatever you prefer. When you're ready, go ahead and slowly lift, and pause, and slowly down. The slowly lifting is what will help reduce drop foot. The slowly lowering is what will reduce foot slap. So foot slap is when you hear yourself walking because you hear your feet slapping the ground. That's what the lowering down slowly helps with. Up and down. Up and down. That's halfway. So if you're doing one leg at a time, go ahead and switch to the other leg. Up and down. You don't have to move your arms like I'm doing. I just like to exaggerate what my feet are doing so that you can see what's going on. Up and down. Up. Keep those belly muscles taut. If you've let your belly go, tighten that back up. One more. Up and down. And relax. Let everything hang loose, shake everything out. One final exercise, and we're going back to our sit to stands or our heel pushes. So you're going to stay towards the edge of your chair. Feet and knees are wide. So again, if I show you from the front, your feet and knees are wide. I don't want anyone like this. So if you can't have your knees this wide, maybe you can this wide or this wide, whatever works for you. So feet are wide, then bend your knees a little bit. That's going to help the exercise. Sitting up tall. When I say push, you have two options. Hinge forward and push down through your feet and then relax. You'll really feel your hip or hamstring muscles engage on the back of your knee. Option 2, when I say push, you hinge forward and push down to stand up. When you sit, you hinge and then lower. So you can choose whichever option you want to do. Go ahead and decide right now. You can go back and forth if you want, but when you're ready, legs are wide, knees are bent, belly is engaged. Go ahead and push and relax. Push. I actually think that not fully standing up is a little bit more challenging for my hamstrings than actually standing up. So if you're looking for more function, go ahead and stand up with me if you can. But if you're looking for more strength in bending your knee, then maybe try a few where you don't actually stand up. You just push down. So I'll do a few of those. Push and relax. Push. And when you're pushing but not standing, you're almost trying to lift your bottom up, but you're not actually lifting it up, down. Push. Relax. Got 3 more. Push. Relax. Push. Relax. Last one. Push and relax. And then let go. Let everything hang loose. Shake everything out. Awesome job. So again, these exercises that we did today are some of the basics that I think are the foundation for MS-specific exercise. Let's do a quick stretch just because we did tighten some muscles today. So I want to make sure we all end class feeling looser and not like a tight ball of stress. So the first exercise that I want to do for a stretch, go ahead and grab one leg, put it over your opposite lower leg if you can. If this is too challenging, you can just cross your leg like this. Either way, whichever position you're in, sit up tall and hinge forward. And you should feel this stretch in your outer thigh, your glute area, maybe even your outer hamstring. We worked those muscles a decent amount today, especially if you did the standing options, but even if you didn't. So we'll hold here, keep breathing. And when you're ready, sit. If you're hinging forward, stop hinging forward. Round your back. The stretch should lessen or maybe even completely go away. Then lower that leg. Then grab the other leg or cross the leg. Once you're in a secure spot, sit up tall. If you're tight like me, you already feel it there. But if not, you can hinge forward with a flat back to just feel the stretch a little bit more. This leg on top, or even if it's crossed down lower, it should feel relaxed. It should feel completely dead weight. That's the best way to get a passive stretch. And when you're ready, if you are hinging, stop hinging forward. Round your back, really slouch, and then lower that leg. The last stretch I want to do with you today, if you feel like you need more stretches, please feel free to do that. But you'd go ahead and straighten one leg. Doesn't matter what your ankle is doing, just straighten one leg as much as you can. Hands come on the opposite lower thigh. Sit up tall and hinge forward. So this is a hamstring stretch. So ideally you'd feel it somewhere on the back side of your leg from your bottom all the way behind your knee. This should feel pretty good because we used our hamstrings today for some of those exercises. Keep breathing, especially if this does feel intense for you. When you're ready, stop hinging forward, so come all the way back up, round, and then try your best not to use your hands if possible to bend that knee back in. If you do need to use your hands, you can, but try not to. Last one, straighten your opposite leg. Make sure it feels comfortable where it is. The knee is as straight as you can get it. Hands come over to the other side. Sit up tall and hinge. Ooh, this side is much tighter for me today than the other side. But same thing, you want to feel it somewhere behind the back of your upper thigh, anywhere from your bottom all the way down to behind your knee. And hold here. And when you're ready, you can come all the way back up, round, and then do your best to not use your hands as you pull back in. And that concludes class today. So awesome job. Shake everything out. And just as a quick reminder, I mentioned this earlier, but you could have just done these exercises for one round if that fits your schedule or preference best, or you can do these exercises throughout the day. We did 5 of them today. You could do bracing in the morning. You could do the leg kicks after breakfast. You could do the marching before lunch. You could split them up throughout the day if that works better for your schedule. And research shows that that's just as effective as if you did them all at one time. So the consistency is the most important thing. So pick a schedule that works for you and your body. But great job today.